Okay, all right. Well, we're going to go ahead and get started. Again, thank you everybody for joining us. We're here today to discuss SEO. This is the second of our three-part digital marketing workshop series. The first was discussing your website, which was the 6 keys to a modern high-performing website. With the website being really your anchor to your online presence. All roads lead back to your website. And we're continuing that discussion with those roads, which would be one of them being SEO and how you can grow your practice through search. So my awesome, there we go, my awesome co-host here. Hi, Joe, how are you?
Doing well, doing well. Happy to join y'all.
Great, great. Joe is our Director of Product and Content Marketing here at Revenue Well. And myself, I am the Senior Demand Generation Manager at Revenue Well. So we're really excited to dig in today. What we're going to cover is really why SEO is important and something that you should pay attention to for your practice, and then how rankings work. And then we'll also discuss insights and strategies to land above the competition, as well as online reviews and how important those are, as well as when you should look to see results. SEO is a long-term play, and so what you should be doing to see those results and those milestones along the way that you can look for. And again, if you didn't hear me before you joined, please ask questions. Send us your questions. We will do our best to leave time to get to them at the end of the presentation. So definitely want to make this a two-way conversation. So send us your questions. All right, so with that being said, I want to kick us off with a poll question. So we're going to take our first poll question. If you guys can just let me know, what are you currently doing? What are you currently using to drive traffic to your website? We're going to give you a few seconds. And you can select all that apply, and we'll share the answers. And everybody can kind of see what the mix is, what your peers are doing, and what their strategies are. Awesome. We'll give about 10 more seconds. Everybody answered. Awesome. It looks like most of you are doing online reviews, which I love. That's great. 67%, we'll go ahead and close that poll, but 67% of you are doing online reviews, and then followed by 33% of you say you're doing SEO, and it's equally split 17% with paid social. So 25% say that you're not doing anything. I'm glad that you're joining us, you all especially, because there's so much that you can do. But thank you guys for doing that poll with us. So Joe, we'll go ahead and get started then. With that being said, why is SEO so important?
Yeah, no, I mean, SEO is super important for dental offices these days. 77% of patients choose their healthcare provider, dentist, others online. And also, less than 1% of searchers click on results past the first page. So really, if you think about it, about 3 out of 4 dental decisions are being made on that first page of Google. Combine that with, the importance of reviews and patients seeing your reviews on Google, with 81% of them using online reviews to help them make that decision. Really being upfront on Google with good reviews is crucial to getting, those patients that are looking for dentists.
Awesome. So what is SEO? And the Digital Marketing Institute defines it as the process of getting traffic from free, organic, editorial, and natural results in search engines. And we're going to cover all of that, but this is our basic definition that we are going by. And Joe wanted to bring really just the anatomy of a Google page. And there are sections to a page, right, Joe? And what you do for SEO determines where you show up on this page, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm sure everyone here has used Google. It's kind of the go-to when you're looking to find a business, look for a restaurant, even find information. So, when you put in a search like dentist near me or cosmetic dentist or pediatric dentist, Google takes those keywords using information it knows about yourself, your location, and other factors, and serves up a series of listings or a series of pages for you to view. And the first set of those are ads, of course. That's how Google makes it. Over 80% of their revenue is still just kind of like Google AdWords. So these ads are shown based on a couple different factors, but one of the most important being a bidding system. So dentist near me, you can bid on what you want to pay to show up for that keyword, and that will show your placement in that ads. So that's kind of the first section, is the ads section of the Google search results. The next is the local pack, is what it's called. These are for searches related to local businesses. It shows businesses kind of near your location that fit that search criteria. And as you can see, even within local pack, the very first one is an ad, the rest being natural organic results. Next, for a lot of searches, you'll have questions. People also ask. So this will be, what is meant by cosmetic dentistry? Is cosmetic dentistry worth it? How much is cosmetic dentistry in Austin, hypothetically? So these questions will be answered from content from various websites. So if you have good content on your website, which we'll kind of talk about a little bit later, you can actually start to show up for answers to some of these questions. And the last section is just a long list of websites ranked by what Google deems relevant to you as the user and the search terms that you put in there. So there's an ongoing list. You can keep kind of scrolling and scrolling. It used to be different pages. Now Google's kind of implement more of a consistent scroll where it's not separate pages, where the first set is what we can kind of consider the first page, and then you can scroll in after and view just pages after pages of results.
Awesome. Okay, so that was really helpful, Joe. Thank you for that. We're gonna go into strategies, Joe. Now that we've broken down some really the way that the page is set up, we're gonna go into strategies as to how you can get to the top. And we're splitting that up between on-page and off-page optimization. So we're gonna dive into on-page first. On-page and technical SEO, there are a lot of ways on-page technical SEO tactics can be implemented. Joe, you described some of them here.
Yeah. And so really when we say on-page and off-page, on-page is everything you do to your website. Off-page is everything you do outside of your own website. So really for like a good on-page SEO, there's thousands and thousands of tactics. I mean, this can get super technical. There's lots of things you can do here, but there's some just like top things that you may need to be aware of to make sure your website's super SEO optimized. The first one is, metadata, titles, descriptions, the information behind the visual page that you see embedded in the code that Google kind of scans and picks up on to get information or meta information on that web page. The next is your information hierarchy, kind of like your menu. Are you listing all your services in a structured way? Google, for example, if you have like cosmetic surgery, cosmetic dentistry, and then sub pages around veneers and things like that, Google will associate cosmetic dentistry to veneers within your page. Also, URL names. You want to make sure it's not like page 101 page. You want to make sure the title of the page or the URL of the page is not using natural language and descriptive to what the page is about. Some other things. Quite a few years back, Google really prioritized secure websites. So making sure you have a SSL certificate for your website, that it's secure. If not secure, Google's really going to penalize you for that. Also, broken pages. You want to make sure your website's functioning correctly and there's no like 404 pages or broken pages on your site. Again, that's going to ding you. The other thing is like keeping your website up to date, not only with content, again, which we'll address later, but modern code and architecture. If you have a really, really old website, Google kind of will penalize you for that versus a more modern built website. And finally, just making sure it's crawlable by Google. Google doesn't view the same thing that we view as users. It views straight to the code. So it scans all the code and looks at it. So you want to make sure that all your pages are crawlable and being able to index by Google, whether using like a sitemap on the back end or a robots.txt file, what it's called, that gives Google instructions on how to crawl the website.
Awesome. Awesome. Really valuable information here. Thank you for that. And then the next thing that we're going to jump into is just creating an intuitive user experience.
Yeah, and really there's a couple factors here, but what Google looks like for usability is when you click a website, when you click a link off of Google results, and it's called a bounce rate. If you stay on that site, Google likes that. If you jump right off of it, Google doesn't like that, so you'll get penalized. And to make sure people don't leave your website, you want to make sure it's really intuitive and user friendly. That it's a mobile friendly experience. Over half of Google searches now are done on mobile. That it loads very quickly. You know, people are super impatient now. So if it takes more than like 2 to 3 seconds to load your website, people may bounce off of it. Making sure your information is clearly displayed and it's visually good looking will also help with that.
Great, great. And another thing that we did mention in our first webinar when we really dug into the website is not having too much multimedia. It's great to have different forms to consume information, but that would also slow your website down and your page load times down. So using it wisely, just making sure being conscious of that.
Yeah, pictures and video are super important, but you want to make sure that they're created correctly, compressed correctly, or else that will hurt you. Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and so really another point about investing in great content and just like you said, those keywords and using multimedia wisely. But also, Joe, one thing that you did mention before when you described the anatomy of a Google page is answering those questions, that question section. So taking the time to look at what questions patients are asking and making sure that you're answering that on your website, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Your website can be a resource for your patients, whether they're looking to learn about new dental technologies, procedures they're interested in, pricing, you know, if they're kind of afraid about, you know, pain, things like that. These are great topics to address on your website that Google will then index, know this is a page about this topic, and will start to serve those pages up higher and higher as you optimize it for SEO.
Right, right.
And we say keywords, keywords, keywords here, right? If you're you don't want to put if you're writing about dental implants, you want to make sure that you're optimizing that page content about dental implants. You don't want to like overload the page with that keyword, but you want to make sure you have the right mix of that keyword in there. So again, Google rewards that page.
Right. And also having that multimedia relate to that too. If it's a dental crown page and having that text behind there that says dental crown and then this multimedia asset pops up. So great work on that. And then we're also going to move on to off-page optimization. So what can you do outside of your website to help your search rankings? And one of the things that we're going to talk about is maximizing your Google My Business profile. Can you start by just telling everyone, really, for those who may not know, what is the Google My Business profile?
Yeah, so Google My Business Profile is the portal that you know dentist offices, other businesses can use to update and edit their profile within Google, specifically local businesses. So you know you go to Google My Business Profile. You can edit, change your business name if it's not already in there. Have your address, the hours that you're open, your phone number, and a bunch of other information, pictures, things like that. The services that you offered, and the more complete and descriptive your Google My Business profile is, the more Google likes it, the more the higher you'll show up.
Awesome. And then you have an example over here of just when you input that information, how it shows up. We've all seen this before, but you can see that if you're not updating that regularly, then it will be outdated with publicly for when people view it publicly.
Absolutely. The other side of that is if you don't update it, Google will ask users to update it. So sometimes
Yes.
you may have run across it where you'll Google a business and it'll have like a weird picture of like a half-eaten hamburger as like the main image, and it'll be like someone that uploaded a picture complaining. So if you don't own your Google My Business profile, someone else will, and it may not be the best image that you want to present for your business.
Absolutely. Do not let a half-eaten hamburger display your dental practice. So take control of it. Take control of it. Don't let others. So focus on local SEO. This is a huge one. You know, you want to make sure, you know, as you called it earlier, the local pack or the Google Map pack, focusing what can they do to make sure that they are showing up locally to their patients.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, you have two types of, just to reiterate, two types of kind of SEO. You have general SEO, which, you know, is the superset of everything, but then you have local SEO, which is really kind of how do you get higher and higher on that local map pack, but also Google Maps. You know, people may go directly to Google Maps to find things as well. So this is super crucial. And one of the biggest ways you can do that is to gain your local citations. So this is like, you know, online directories like Yelp, ZocDoc, anywhere they list local businesses, you want to be there. Being part of your local dental association as well, local community pages, things like that. Anything that attaches your business to your locality is really will help your local SEO.
And then being diligent about your patient reviews. We all pay attention to patient reviews. And it's a big, with the consumer being shopping around for a dentist, they're also looking at patient reviews, and Google pays attention to patient reviews, right, Joe?
Absolutely. Another very big factor in showing up higher on the local map and just Google in general is lots of reviews, one. So the more you review, the higher you're going to show up, and also good reviews, right? Lots of reviews will get you show up higher. Good reviews are the filter that will help clients to click your prospective patients to click on your listing.
Yeah, and some of the reasons I like to tell people to make it personal and tell people, you know, there are different reasons as to why people leave reviews. A lot of times, if you have a bad experience, you're driven by your emotion to leave a review. But, you know, maybe not so much if you have a positive experience, it didn't disrupt your day. So, you know, you're like, oh, that was great. You go along about your day, but have a process in order to collect reviews, and also tell your businesses. A lot of people, why they leave reviews is, you know, the business went above and beyond, or they were able to turn a negative experience into a positive one. They know that the business is new. Tell them, hey, we just opened this location, or we're a brand new dentist in the neighborhood. We would love if you help us get started. And really ask them to help you. And it also builds their loyalty to them, because they may feel a sense of connection and loyalty to you to help you with that, especially if they had a great experience. And then maybe you have unfair reviews and they had a positive experience. So you see that you may have not enough reviews or unfair reviews, ask them to leave you a positive review. It really goes a long way.
Yeah, and really the bad reviews, a lot of people are afraid of getting online reviews because they're afraid of, you know, being in a service industry in general, you'll always have people, no matter how above and beyond you go, they just may not be satisfied with what happened, right? Or maybe misunderstandings. Don't let those bad reviews make you afraid of reviews in general, because you just need to respond and give context to review. A lot of times, if users see a bad review, but see the practice, hey, we're sorry that communication happened. How can we make this better? Or, hey, we're willing to do this. That goes a long way, because everyone knows no business is perfect, right? And almost if everyone has 100 5-star reviews and nothing lower, it almost seems a little suspicious sometimes. So don't be afraid of those, you know, 3-star, even 1-star reviews. Just respond to the review, give context, maybe reach out to the patient and see what you can do. And that just adds authenticity to your business. But most importantly, get reviews. Don't let that be a barrier. The more reviews, the better by far.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Great. Okay, you guys, we want to make sure you're still with us. This is all great content. We're going to send you this recording afterward, but we want to take our second and final poll question. So how are you currently collecting reviews for your practice? Do you have a process in place? You can select all that apply. Are you sending a follow-up email? Do you have an automated phone call that goes out? Is it a text message? And again, feel free, please, to send us your questions. If you have any questions, let us know. We will get to that at the end. Okay, great. We're going to, it looks like most of you have a follow-up email in place. That's great. And a lot of you also do texting, which is awesome. A lot of people respond to requests in different ways, so that's awesome. And then we have some of you, 7%, who say you don't have a process in place. And you definitely want to look into that. Online reviews can really be, we know practices who, they don't really look to invest too much into paid social or anything like that, because they have so many online reviews that Google ranks them according to that. So you really want to pay attention to your online reviews. Awesome.
Exactly. If you don't have an automated process in place, I definitely recommend getting one. To 10x, you'll get 10 times more reviews having that in place than you will without. Email is great. Text is always better. Everyone opens a text. Email has a little, 20-30% open rate. So definitely make sure you're putting something in place to get those reviews, because it is key to having a strong online presence.
Okay, great. And then, there we go. Did I go back? I went backwards. There we go. All right. So when will you see results? And honestly, Joe, it depends, right? This is a game of consistency and really just putting in the work to build a complete online presence, right?
Absolutely. Google almost says, don't worry about SEO, just focus on building a high quality site with great content, super usable, with a lot of good reviews, right? That's kind of what Google tells you to do. So really, it depends on a lot of different factors. One, what market are you in? If you're in a very highly crowded market with lots of sophisticated dentists doing lots of SEO, it's going to take longer to get results. If you're, less saturated, potentially quicker results. How big is your website? How much content? How long has your website been on there? There's a lot of different factors going in there. So just really finding, someone that's a trusted partner to work with, or learning it yourself and making sure you're doing the work, right? It's like a good exercise, it's like a good dental hygiene regimen where, as long as you're keeping the dental hygiene, you'll see the results over time.
Great. And you mentioned this earlier, but really finding a partner who knows what they're doing and has the skill set to make sure that you do see that that return in the long run for your time and the content that you're putting on your website and the way that your website is built. And Revenue Well, a lot of you are already partnered with us with Revenue Well, but we do also offer our SEO services through our digital marketing. But Joe, it's really about, even regardless of who you go with, I know a lot of dentists have stories where they've tried SEO and it went down a path and they worked with someone and they felt like they didn't see results. This is kind of a starting checklist, I would say, of what you should look for in your partner, right?
Absolutely. And what really highlights to me here is no grand promises. You'll see a lot of people advertising. A lot of people on this call probably gotten those automatic robocalls. We'll get you #1 in Google, right? As you maybe learned from this webinar or previous experience, anyone that can guarantee you #1 in a quick amount of time with $100, $200 a month, it doesn't make sense, right? If they could do that for you, they could do it for anyone. Everyone would be doing it, right? That's not the case. It's really investing in the fundamentals of a good website, good reviews, good content. Investing in all those not only gets you, a better website, people you convert higher, things like that. It's going to start to help you with SEO. And one thing else I'd add as well is it helps to have an industry expert, right? Lots of people do SEO for home services, for automotive, for all these different industries. Really understanding the dental procedures, the content that's needed, the market will make a big difference in the results that you see with an SEO provider.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you guys so much. So with that, we're going to get into some questions. So again, I'm going to go through, but if you have any questions, please feel free to put them into that chat box. One, Joe, do you have any specific KPI metrics that we should look for when tracking SEO?
Yeah, I think organic traffic is a big one. Like, how much traffic are you getting from SEO, and are you seeing an improvement in that traffic? There's a lot of like bots on the internet. You'll hear there's a lot of like kind of like junk traffic out there. So you want to see improvement in your organic traffic that's going through. You also want to use a tool to measure your search result rankings. If you search yourself, your own business, your own search results will start to get like skewed because you're searching yourself. Even if you go in incognito mode or things like that, your own searches aren't going to be exactly what everyone else sees. It's the aggregate. So using like a search engine ranking tool like Ahrefs or SEO Moz or something like that, that will help show you kind of where you're ranked amongst your competitors. And finally, just new patients, right? At the end of the day, that's what you're trying to do SEO for, is new patients. So how many new patients are you getting? Is that increasing with SEO? That's another big metric that you want to look at.
Thank you. Another question that we had was, how do we find out what kind of questions patients are asking Google?
Yeah, so the autocomplete is a great way. So if you search and type dental, is like, how much is dental? Google will suggest various things for you. And the top ones are ones you should kind of be centered. How much are dental implants? You know, like, so start searches and see what the top ones are. That can help you figure out kind of a really easy way of figuring out, like, if Google's suggesting at a high level means there's lots of searches for it. There's Google Trends is a tool. It's like a rough tool you can use to like see what search traffic is over time. And then there's other more sophisticated paid tools that you can use that, you know, your agency may be able to do to look into that as well.
Okay, last question is, how do we find out how we rank on Google? Before, I'll let you elaborate on that, but we do actually have a tool, and I'll include that in our follow-up email. It's called Evaluate My Practice, but you can put your information in there and you will be able to see how you rank. Right, Joe, did you have anything to elaborate?
Yeah. Our Evaluate My Practice tool is a really good, it kind of accesses some of those like more sophisticated tools I was referencing for free for your practice. So you can plug your information in there. It's going to give you a really good high level picture of where you're at with your website as far as it comes to SEO and kind of where you're ranking at right now, as well as some other like really interesting facts. It's a free tool. We'll share the link after this, and it's a really easy way of getting that information on your website.
Awesome. Okay, well, I want to thank you all for attending. We will have our third and final part of this 3-part workshop, our digital marketing workshop series, which will cover our paid efforts, which is another traffic driver to grow your practice. I'll include that in our follow-up email, as well as the resource Evaluate My Practice that we talked about, and the recording of this discussion. Thank you all so much for joining us today, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day and week. Thank you, Joe.
Thanks, y'all.